Except for the yard chairs. I didn't think of the yard chairs.
Well, the dinner bell is over there, so I can't ring it from here. But I want to officially welcome everyone. It is so nice to have so many people gathered together and share our love for this family. And I hope that you'll come back many times in the future. And I want to thank Nancy and Rayburn for getting this idea started. Even though we don't have the chuck wagon, we still have the fellowship, and we're very grateful for that. So Nancy and Rayburn, thank you so much.
Yes. Well, we have a photo of a chuck wagon.
You can imagine what it would have been like.
This part is one of these for each of you, so just pass it on. And I'll start this one over here.
You will help me get up, won't you?
Okay. What's that say? Okay. So just pass it on. There's supposed to be enough for everyone to have one.
Each one or family or what?
There's supposed to be enough for each person.
Okay.
If we end up short, well, we'll cut it down.
Still on the shorts.
This is nice.
Helen?
Okay, good, thank you.
Come on now.
I'll kind of start it off. If you'll take these sheets out of the packet, we'll go through that together before we...
Is it going? I want to know. Is it going to be a test? 'Cause I'm not.
No, it's not. Yes, it is. You have to tell us when you were born.
We. Nancy and Rayburn are both instructors, and so I'm getting a little worried.
No,
Okay.
actually what this amounts
Wait a
to
minute.
is it's kind of a timeline of the family of Jim and Ida Mae Golden Bonham. So you should find your name there. If you don't, please don't tell me. You should find your birth dates and marriage dates maybe, and who you married necessarily. Jim was actually going to be in kind of a test. No, not today. I wouldn't want to grade it. But what we did want to do is to be sure, especially for the younger ones, to know something more about Jim and their family. They started off with 2, as you can see here on page 1. Flip over to the very last page. Mine was turned upside down. I hope yours isn't. You see 4 children, 12 grandchildren, 17 great-grandchildren. So from 2 to this 1. How many would that be, Kate? Total descendants.
4 plus 12 is...
Don't ask
Yeah.
her. Don't ask her to read.
I thought she'd have that answer for there are more members of the family. These are all blood descendants. So for someone like me, I'm not counted, nor should I be, of course. So we started off with the 2, with Ida Mae and Jim. Then fairly soon, Helen. Next year, I think, I won't check that date specifically, about a year later.
It's official.
And then fairly soon after that, Nancy, and then Don, and then Wayne. So how many are out there? 6? Then Helen marries J.C., adds to the family. Jimmy is born, Larry is born, and then that's where I come in. Not with Helen, but Nancy. So we married. And I became the 10th member of the family, again, not blood related. Wouldn't have minded being, but I wasn't. So then, more children. Unfortunately, we had some people who were part of the family, and they still are, but are no longer with us. So you'll find the first one on this page with Scott. He died on March the 21st, 1976. And then before the year was over, we thought it couldn't be any more than that, but before the year was over, Larry, on December the 17th. And Helen was mentioning a moment ago the fact that Ida Mae, who was a very good seamstress, I might add, made the shirt that Larry is wearing here, and also his bow tie. And then how and then JC. So without going into all the details, I just wanted to give you kind of a timeline of people, how the family grew. And we wanted to make this a day of memorial for Jim and Ida Mae, and for Hal, Scott, Larry, and for JC. So at this point, unless someone else has something you'd like to say or inject in some way or other, if you turn to the last page, since we have had these who have, are no longer with us, and we are memorializing those six people, we'd like for you to just take some time to, in a very quiet period, to think about those people. Some of you knew them, some of you didn't, some of you knew some of them. Some of you never knew any of them. Someone as young as Kate, and of course now Colleen, well you may have known JC, I'm sorry. And Colleen certainly knew JC. But then some of the others, they never had the opportunity to know. And there'll be some day that you'll have a gathering like this, and someone will say, remember Aunt Nancy or Uncle Wayne? Maybe someone about like Kate sitting there. No, who are they? So maybe we can keep the memories going. That's what we're trying to do. So if you will, just take a period of silence. Think about the ones who are no longer with us. Remember them in your own ways. And then, if you will, in your own way, ask whatever blessing you'd like to ask on this gathering and on the food. And we'll move on to the meal time. Thank you. On. Helen? No.
Well, I think JC would be very happy that we're enjoying his shop building that he mainly built for Jim's equipment, but I said he can't have it unless I can have a studio too. So anyway, we're enjoying it, and I'm glad we have a spot. And if you need to have another party in a week or two, well, feel welcome, because it won't look like this ever again.
We might add, we're having a Sunday school party soon. We didn't know it till today, but we're having
Okay, enjoy.
And I want to thank Helen and whoever helped to clean the shop out for us to get into, because we knew that it might rain. And hopefully it's going to wait a little while before it starts pouring.
Yeah.
Don't forget Laura and Dennis for all the work they did over here that we didn't get to use. What we didn't use last night. Thank you very
It looks
much.
great.
Would any of you grandchildren like to say anything about your grandparents, or?
Well, I would just like to say thank you to Nancy and Rayburn for getting this together. It's hard to get all the family together, and you did it, so.
We're so
Thank you.
thrilled that
For the meal.
almost everyone was able to come.
And I just can't help but remember, as you all do, Jim and Ida Mae, and I never called them that, they were Mr. and Mrs. Bonham. But the wonderful, wonderful Christian parents that they were to y'all, and look what they started and where you are now. But I just know they're smiling down this morning, knowing that what a great family that they have raised and put together, and it was their Christian principles, and they're good folks, good folks.
We're blessed. We were poor when we were growing up, but we didn't know it. They didn't tell us we were.
You were fortunate. We were poor, and I knew it.
Well, we always had plenty of food, and we were warm enough, you know, and had plenty of clothes, thanks to Mother.
Yes, and do you remember? I couldn't wait to have a ready-made dress, and it was black and had covered buttons. And first time we washed it, it nearly fell apart. And I never asked for another ready-made dress again. I didn't know how lucky we were until that.
Well, unless someone else has something they want to say, as far as your memories are concerned, and do you?
Well, if we stand here much longer, I want to mention the magic wedding dress for us.
I think most of them know.
I know. I know.
Most of them do. If you don't ask somebody what it's talking about.
I do think everybody, every one of us, needs to introduce themselves and where they live and the relationship.
But you don't remember.
No, I do know, but there's people here that don't know.
Okay, you come up and start it.
I can sit right here.
No, no.
I'm not going to ask anybody else to get up either. But I'm Jim. My mother is Helen, the daughter of Jim and Ida May. And I have 2 boys here. And I'll let them introduce themselves, and the daughter-in-law that is here. And a wife. I'm saving the best for last. So I remember, I'm old enough, I'm 59. And I remember how this all got originally started. There was something called the Reedus Reunion, which was Jim and Ida May's or grandmother, Ida May's mother, and she was a Reedus, and her mother's name was Jumper. And so we used to have these family reunions that they were called a Reedus reunion, but they included the Goldens, they included the Bonhams, some of the Jumpers, and then all of Jim and Ida May's kids and their families, and there was nearly 100 people at times. Things were different. Nearly everybody lived in Lamar County or close by, and then as time went on, people moved away, and Wayne's families come all the way from Missouri. So this is kind of a big deal.
Okay, Wayne, why don't you introduce your family since you came the furthest?
Yeah, I guess I'm the only one that's not still in Texas in this group. Yeah. Well, I'm still a Texan at heart, and Dallas Cowboys play a big role in all of my family. My wife Sherry back here, and daughter Megan, and daughter Elizabeth, granddaughter Kate, and son Ben, all back here. Ben's family was not able to get away to come with us, but he's got a lovely wife and 4 kids, and they're getting on in years too. The oldest daughter is 22 of his, and we're so glad to be here, and so glad it's an opportunity to come back and visit everybody together.
Well, this would be the time to introduce Leanne as your special guest.
Yes.
Let Megan do that.
Leanne is from China, so she is studying English as a second language, and so she's been living in our house as an international student. So she is hoping to gain some English proficiency so that she can attend Truman State University in Kirksville, Missouri. So yeah, we're really glad to have her. We've had her since February, and she'll probably be staying with us until she goes to Truman in August. So, yay!
Welcome.
Welcome.
A big Texas mother.
I liked it when Leanne, when we were coming down here, she asked if they spoke a different language in Texas. I didn't know what to say.
And see, we don't wear cowboy hats and we don't wear boots all the time. And there's no oil wells that you can see.
But we did give a big yee-haw when we crossed the Red River.
Good. That's required.
Okay, Don, you want to introduce your family?
Okay, I'm Don. I'm the first son of Jim and Ida May, and my wife Janie. Almost 50 years.
Almost. This year.
My daughter Vicky, son-in-law Blake, and rest or part of the other family will be here after a while. they're always late, and of course our son will not be here because he lives in Salt Lake City, pretty far away to come in. So we're glad to get together with all the family, and hope we get to do it again.
Linda, would you like to introduce your family?
I'd love to.
You're a teacher. You can strive and say,
I can,
now
the little
class.
kids, I just don't like, where is my family? My husband George, and it will be 25 years this year that we'll be married. And then my daughter Alyssa, 22. Raise your hand so they can see. She'll be graduating in December.
From where?
From Texas A&M. And Lindsay, 21. She'll be graduating in May of next year from A&M. And Alexis is a junior at Bishop Lynch, so she'll be graduating from high school next year. And her boyfriend Jack, who we like having around. And that's it, right? The end. On to the next person. That's all I'm going to say. And we're glad to be here.
Laura? And you live?
Oh, sorry. We live in Carrollton, Texas.
Okay.
See, that's the reason I can't talk. I can't remember everything.
Okay.
Jim, you didn't point your specific kids out, so you point yours out.
Okay, my youngest is Connor.
Forgot me.
You'll have to raise your hand. He's 20 and lives in Denton, goes to North Texas. And his girlfriend Melanie, who lives in Aubrey.
Yes.
Where is Jake? My oldest son is Jake, and his wife Renee. My middle son Drew is 30, and he lives in Houston.
Okay.
Jake's 34.
And lives in Oak Cliff.
And lives in Oak Cliff, which is a suburb of Dallas. The nice part of Oak Cliff. There's South Oak Cliff and there's Oak Cliff.
Laura?
Laura, daughter of Helen and JC. My husband Dennis. My daughter Kathleen, who is going to go to Texas Tech. We will not say guns up, but we're supporting her anyway. She's 18. She'll be graduating from North Lamar this year. My son Kevin, who's a freshman at North Lamar. And Colleen is over there by Alexis. You raise your hand. He's in 6th grade at Stone Middle School. And all three of my kids got to attend the old Powderly school out here, the old rock school. All of them got to go through the 5th grade, which I think is pretty cool. Since Jim, Larry, Linda, and I all got to go there, so it's kind of a cool tradition, I think. We live next door. For any of y'all that don't know, I think you do, but we enjoy living next door to Mom, and certainly enjoy living next door to Dad.
Okay.
Who's the guy standing over by you?
Didn't she mean?
Yeah, you see that.
Okay, one last person.
Wait a minute, I'm the Bonham.
You sign all the checks, hell.
I know. Okay, well, I think you all know who Rayburn and I are, and we live in Rockwall. This is our granddaughter Brooke, and he has something else to say about her. She and her mother Paula live in Mesquite.
I was just going to say that this is our only granddaughter, only grandchild, and the only one we'll ever have. And fairly recently, I was reading an article, a man who had only one son, and he was delivering a eulogy for the son. And he said, this is our only child, and God give us a good one. This is our only granddaughter. Give us a good one.
Thank you. Thanks for making me cry.
Okay. Well, I think we've talked enough, and it's time to eat. Oh, Helen's got something else to say.
Well, as a family, this is my adopted sister, Joanne Hartman. We've known each other since we were juniors in high school. Juniors in high school. We met through a mutual friend, and we lost that mutual friend a few years ago. So we haven't gotten to do things together like we thought the three of us would. But Joanne and I have continued to do things together. And she's my mainstay, except my family. And so, anyway, pleased to have her with us today, too.
Glad to be included in this illustrious group.
It is.
Y'all keep each other young.
Yeah.
You know all the players better than a lot of us.
Yeah.
I know some stuff too.
I know a lot of stuff.
She can blackmail any of us. Anytime y'all want to go to Italy, I'll stick with you.
Like I told you at the airport, there ain't gonna be any more trips across the pond.
Neither one of y'all are going out.
And this is self-serve. So the barbecue and the buns and the chips and the drinks and the relish and the pickles and what else? Okay, wait a minute.
While they're all still, be aware that I'm going to do family groups, you know, and so y'all kind of hang loose so we can get them all done.
Maybe.
Yeah, and also I want a group picture. Now that's going to be a chore.
Joanne, let's wait until the rest of Dawn's
Oh, I
family
am,
gets
but I'm
here.
just giving y'all a heads up. But that group picture is going to be something else to have to get everybody together, so we'll need your help.
We have all